Alright, quick update on Gala. Let's check out how Gala is performing against both its USD pair and also its BTC pair. I think it's very important. A lot of people invested in altcoins during this market do look at their Bitcoin pairs to see, is it even worth holding these altcoins over Bitcoin? So let's jump right into the USD pair. Let's start off with the higher time frames and see what's going on. Higher time frames, not a lot has changed since our last couple of videos. We're clearly in a massive capitulation event to the downside, and it really seems like there is no subsiding at this moment in time. Looking at the volume very quickly, because there's not a lot to talk about on the weekly as always, but volume is exponentially increasing while the price is dropping and volume to the downside is exponentially increasing. This is just a telltale sign that the bottom is not in. If we were seeing the price drop and we were seeing the volume start off strong and start to taper down, something like this would be indicative bears are losing control. But at this moment in time, volume is just getting more exponential. The squeeze one, bears are clearly in control of the momentum right now. Let's move over onto the daily time frame. Daily time frame isn't a lot different. What's interesting on this front is you are seeing a large increase in volume traded over the past couple of weeks. It's a very 50-50 mix between bullish and bearish volume, but according to the weekly, it is predominantly bearish volume at this moment in time. As you can see, the bullish volume at least came in very strong, and then you can see it is starting to subside. We do have like a trend line here, so I guess a line of best fit would probably be something like this, but you can see it's tapering down. On the flip side, the volume to the upside, I'd say a line of best fit is something like this. This is the selling volume. Obviously we're missing out this big candle to the upside, and we're missing out a few of these ones to the downside, and excluding these two anomalies, well, even including them is what I'm trying to do by doing this line of best fit. Somewhere in the middle you can see that volume is still increasing in terms of what the bears are doing. Looking at the squeeze mom, this is our momentum indicator of choice. You can clearly see once again bears are in control of the momentum. There have been a few times where it has started to subside as we do dip over into these dark red candles, but what I can actually see is every time we do this, these are normally just little bunny hills in the price action coming up to your EMA ribbons, and as you do get rejected, as you do roll back down to the downside, it seems like we switch back over to the light red, indicative that the bears are still in control. So I'd really say until you hop above these EMA ribbons, have a confirmed flip for Gala, that we are unfortunately bearish against the US dollar pair. Zooming out, you can see this was your 786 Fibonacci. This was really your last line in the sand. From the uptrend low to high, very blatantly obvious blow off top. We capitulated, came all the way back up to the 618. This is a textbook trend reversal. If you come up to the 618 and you backtest it, you fail the backtest, you make an M pattern and you continue to capitulate even below the 786. You can see after we capitulated below the 618, we came back down, we backtested, oh no, we did not. No, so we barely backtested the 618. I mean, we kind of did it, or the 786 rather, we kind of did it, once or twice, but very textbook trend reversal over on the Fibonacci's here. It does seem fairly obvious that we are extremely bearish right now. Daily EMA ribbons, trend is your friend. You can see since we flipped bearish since the all-time high, we've done nothing but get rejected from these EMA ribbons. We tried to break out. I always talk about what you need to see a successful retest, and this is what you need to do. You need to break above the EMAs, you need to backtest them, then you need to break above where you previously got invalidated. What we actually did is we flipped above them, we got invalidated, we made a lower high, we made an M pattern, very textbook, failed breakout, absolutely nothing bullish about breaking above the EMA ribbons and then failing to hold them. As you can see after that, it's been very textbook, tried to hop over it, once again another M pattern, breakdown, and it seems like we've somewhat come near the EMA ribbons once again, but we're showing extreme weakness in the market in the fact that we're not even able to make it up to these EMA ribbons like we once were. So it seems really obvious to me that Gala is unfortunately bearish against the US dollar. On the 4-hourly time frame, not a lot going on. You're really just lollygagging below these EMA ribbons right now. The tighter and tighter these get, the more explosive the move is going to be. So for example, you can see when we had these wide, loose EMA ribbons, we didn't do a whole lot of anything. We kind of just contracted and, you know, traded in a very tight range underneath the price. What you'll then notice is at this moment in time, when the EMA ribbons got absolutely squished and they were the tightest they could possibly be, we came up, got rejected, and once again you can see they loosened up a bit. But at this moment in time where they became extremely tight, this is when the big move came down, big rejection. Once again they tightened up a little bit and you saw a huge move to the downside. The EMA ribbons got loose again. This is when we came back and tested your EMA ribbons, all of your moving averages we were kind of just chilling in, and once again we're seeing these EMA ribbons tighten. And this is very indicative to me that we are about to see a big move coming. So where do I think we're going to move down to? Unfortunately, at this moment in time, you know, barring this trend line that we are literally sitting on at this moment in time, round about the 7.5 cent region, we do not have a plethora of data traded between these two trend lines and this one up here. You can see it was a straight wick up, a straight candle body run up on the weekly. In fact, on the daily, we literally spent 1, 2, 3, 4 days. There was 4 days worth of data traded from these lows up until this run up, meaning that there's more than a 50% drop in price action if we do capitulate below this trend line, or 49%, but you know, we could come down to down here, which would be like a 72% drop. So I think it is, unfortunately, you know, I do think it looks like Gala wants to push down to the downside. The price action is very indicative that we're below all of your moving averages, all of your EMA ribbons. Bear in mind, EMA ribbons are moving averages anyway, but we're below them. We're below all your trend lines. We're below the 786 fib. And unfortunately, it really doesn't seem like there's anywhere else that we could go. I'm going to see how the last micro fib played out, see if we bottomed at the 1.6 or 2.6, see if this was respected. 2.6, perfect retest of this one. Lovely to see that. Let's see if we've got any confluence coming in with maybe a 1.6 near the targets here. Oh, sorry, I would have needed to draw this from here actually. And your 1.6 is a tiny bit lower. So for example, you could see a support box within this range over on Gala Games. So I think, you know, the most conservative price prediction that I have would be another 51% drop for us to come all the way back to these lows. It doesn't seem like we want to hold these. We are kind of constricting. The price action is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And in fact, it looks like we are going to be having a move today. Let's check out what's going on here. If we line it up a little bit with the 4 hour, I mean, it looks like a move would have to come like now. Yeah, I imagine by the time I post this, well, maybe not, maybe we could bleed out the side of this, but I really think within the next 12 to 24 hours, maybe it could come in Monday. I'm expecting maybe the markets could be a little bit boring. If anything, I think they're going to trend sideways / down into the end of the weekend. But I think the markets open on Monday. If the dollar goes up, if the stock market goes down, Bitcoin's going to go down and Gala's going to go down. So I'm personally predicting at least another 52% drop, unfortunately. I think we are coming down to that 4 cent vicinity. That being said, let's check out quickly how Gala is performing against Bitcoin. Because I think while we are in this bearish stance, you know, this looks very similar to what we saw in the 2018 bear market. And during this capitulation event, just like we're seeing now, altcoins got slaughtered against Bitcoin. So it's important to know, you know, should we be looking at how the altcoins are performing against the US dollar? In my opinion, yes, but we should also be looking at how they're performing against Bitcoin. Because if you're buying an altcoin, you're taking on extra risk than you would be if you were simply holding Bitcoin. I understand why you'd want to do that. You're taking on extra risk in order to get extra reward. That is called, you know, your risk to reward ratio. You're hoping to increase your risk by increasing your reward if it pays out. But if Bitcoin is outperforming Gala, which as you can see, I mean, I don't need to, you know, outline it. It's very obvious. You know, I could just remove everything and keep this trend line and be like, until we break above this trend line, then we're clearly bearish. And you know, that would be completely valid. I mean, I really don't have a plethora of things to say other than until we break above the top of this trend line, in my opinion, there's no point in holding Gala over BTC, because if you're holding an altcoin instead of Bitcoin, you're taking on extra risk in order to get extra rewards. And if you're taking on this extra risk and the price is going down, so you're taking on extra risk but you're not getting the same reward as if you were simply holding Bitcoin, then there's absolutely no point. You're taking on extra risk and you're losing money, where you should, for example, if you were just holding Bitcoin, then you wouldn't have taken as much of a hit as if you were just kind of sitting in Gala. I mean, even if we take it back from the start of the week, if you were holding Bitcoin over Gala at the start of the week, you would have been having, you know, a 14% discount. If you held it from the week before that, you would have had a 27% discount. If you held it from the month before that, you would have been getting a 41% discount. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you held it from another month before that, you know, 50% discount. Another month before that, you know, once again, we go further and further back, and you can see Gala is massively underperforming against Bitcoin. If you simply held Bitcoin at Gala's all-time high, you could buy 77 to 78% more Gala with that same Bitcoin than you previously would have. So Gala, bearish against the US dollar, bearish against Bitcoin. At some point, I do imagine a lot of these altcoins are going to have a turnaround. I don't unfortunately think that is going to be any time within the next month or so. I think Bitcoin capitulates to 22, we bounce out of here, we come back, double bottom somewhere, and then go off to the races. That being said, if Bitcoin comes down to 22, I'm telling you, Gala BTC is going to get slaughtered. I actually think we're going to come down potentially to the lows. I was thinking more of the lows down here, but let's just be a little bit more conservative and say that, you know, I was predicting a 70% drop. We're already down, you know, we're only down a couple of percent or so, but I think this could definitely come back to the lows. We've already did this a couple of days ago, so it would be nothing for Gala to come down another 70% against Bitcoin. Be very careful trading these altcoins. That's all I've got. Hope you found some value in today's content. As always, cowboy out, not financial advice. Peace.